We experience conflicts of varying degrees of value every day in our lives. Things like, do I eat the chocolate? Do I not eat the chocolate? Do I get up and go to work, or do I just Netflix and chill all day? On the state level, right now, Fremont is experiencing a conflict between the residents and their desire to build a Costco chicken processing plant. And how this is leading to a conflict is the residents are jumping to conclusions because they are understanding the implementation of the planning process. They're arguing against something that they haven't been educated on. And they're also only looking at present issues and they're not looking towards the future. So while the citizens are jumping to conclusions, they are not understanding that what the city is doing by having JEO conduct a blight study is in fact not using that to declare eminent domain to take the land. They're actually following revised Nebraska State Statute 58-209.01 by declaring a blighted and substandard area based on those set criteria. Such things as deteriorating structures, underdeveloped land that's been vacant for a while, things that impede economic and social development, things that are liabilities to our public health, etc., are one set of criteria. And the second set that must be met are things such as if the unemployment area is 120% of the state or federal level, or population is declining over the past 2 decennial censuses, the area can also be considered blighted. The city also has a limitation on the area that they can blight. Therefore, using eminent domain to take land is unreasonable. Because people don't understand this, they're misconstruing the information, and they aren't understanding that there's more to this than just taking the land and building a new facility. The second part of the blight study is the redevelopment plan, and once that's conducted, everything is brought in one document to the Planning Commission and it's voted upon. Now, what a Planning Commission is going to want to see in a redevelopment plan would be things that have been set out by the American Planning Association in Planning and Urban Design Standards, such as analyses of the socioeconomic climate, current land use and conditions, what goals, policies, and guidelines they want to set, etc. The last thing they want to see is their plan of action, such as property acquisition, demolition of buildings, the use of tax increment financing to build new buildings, such things as capital improvements like streets, public utilities, etc. In Small Town Planning Handbook, written by Daniels, Keller, and Lapping, tax increment financing, which is what Fremont would like to use, is when a bond is made in order to develop an area that has been designated as a redevelopment area. What this does is it freezes your current land valuation and taxes, and then with the new development and the new raised tax, that increment is set aside to repay that bond for that newly constructed building that's going to boost economic development. Our last issue, but also our biggest issue, is that people are focusing on present issues and they're not looking towards the future. People are focusing on things like, this is going to stress our local housing market. However, in Nebraska, we are in a housing desert. There's always a constant stress on our housing needs. However, it can be remediated through obtaining federal and state grants to help remediate and alleviate these housing issues. Spurring economic development will also help obtain more grants. People are also concerned about pollution. However, if Costco follows federal rules and regulations, there should be minimal pollution. And the biggest complaint has been immigrant workers. Now let's put this into perspective. Using the 2014 American Community Survey 5-year estimate, which is conducted by the U.S. Census Bureau, In the state of Nebraska, the total population is 1,855,617 people. Of those people, the Hispanic Latino population of any race is 180,448 people. That's 9.7% of the Nebraska population. In Fremont, their total city population is 26,483 people. That's 1.4% of the state population. However, only 3,637 people in Fremont are Hispanic or Latino of any race. That's 13.7% of the Fremont population. So therefore, you can see that it's a marginal number. When we understand that these issues that have been presented are based on people jumping to conclusions, arguing against something they haven't been educated on, and are short-sighted, we can begin to bring knowledge to them in order for them to understand that economic development comes with growing pains. The President's Council on Sustainable Development stated that in sustainable communities, partnerships involving business, government, labor, and employees promote economic development and jobs. Participants cooperatively plan and carry out development strategies that create diversified local economies built on unique local advantages and environments.